Painting contractors, gather around the fire. I want to tell you a story about a painter named James. You tell me if any of this sounds familiar. James worked for another painting contractor for about 7 years as a painter, and he was fed up. The boss was a jerk, he was disorganized, the work was inconsistent, and he knew, because he had seen it with his own eyes, that he could make more money and have more freedom if he went into business for himself. But after 3 or 4 years of working his keister off, morning, noon, and night, the bank account never seemed to pile up. His top-line sales even got pretty big, but his take-home pay was always very low. And while he tried to put a good front on it, eventually he became depressed and anxious, because you and I both know that owners of painting businesses, their self-esteem is tied up in the business. And so eventually he turned to substance abuse, and it was a downward spiral. And I don't know what drove him or motivated him to go online and do a few searches, but somehow he found this little redneck guy, Brandon Lewis at the Academy for Professional Painting Contractors, who said, if you just do these things, your business is going to change. If you focus on production rates, job costing, sales, marketing, hiring, operations. And he eventually found the courage to call me, and we got on the phone, and I said, listen, James, you are this close from making 2 to 3 times more money in about 60 to 90 days if you'll just do the things I tell you. He didn't believe me. A lot of folks don't. There's a lot of bad advice in this industry. And I said, listen, bud, we're going to have the Painting Profit Summit here in about 30 days. This was in December. Why don't you come down to Chattanooga and hear from hundreds of other painters about what's really possible in this industry? And he did. I couldn't believe that he came. When he first showed up, he was kind of downcast, doubtful. But after 2 days at this event, I saw him in the gym early in the morning, and he came and buttonholed me and he said, listen, I'm going to be one of your biggest success stories. I'm focused, I'm determined. And I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily believe him at the time. A lot of painters are full of bluff and bluster, but they don't follow through. But he did. And it wasn't a year later that he had tripled his income. His whole demeanor and his whole life had changed. He could hold his head up high at holiday gatherings with his family. He was no longer the failure, right? He was the success story. In fact, he said, I make more money than anybody else I know. And I grew up poor. Both of us did. And when you've never seen an example of success, sometimes it's hard to even think that it's attainable for you. So how does the Painting Profit Summit create this transformation? First off, there's a lot of testimony. When more than 2 or 3 people testify about something being possible, you know, just as it says in the scriptures, that it is. The second thing happens when these owners get up, because this is a peer-to-peer event. This is not a bunch of vendors talking. When they tell you exactly what to do and they share their stories, you begin to see it's possible, and then you get the strategies and tools to go do it. When you're in the peer groups and you're explaining a problem where someone else has a strength, they fix that problem for you, and then you help them where they're weak and you're strong. There are no new problems in painting, I promise you. Same solutions. You've just got to find them. And then finally, if you come to a pre-day where we teach you how to get into commercial repaints, how to hire operations managers or salespeople, how to improve your sales process. If you take those franchise-grade tools, set aside a little time, and do the work, you will see a dramatic change. So I implore you, this Christmas, give yourself the best freaking gift you can give. That's the self-respect of running a successful painting business, and it can all start for you at the Painting Profits Summit. I guarantee it. In fact, if you come to the event and you're not 100% satisfied after the first day, I will hand you back your ticket price. No questions asked. You can walk away, no money out of your pocket. Listen, this could be the year that's different from you. 2025 could be your breakout year. But you can't do what you've always done and expect to get something different. Click the button around this video. Join me and hundreds of the world's wealthiest and most successful painting contractors at the 9th Annual Painting Profit Summit. I can't wait to see you there. Take care, guys.